I ain't doing no credit repair ever again in my life. Ever again in my life. I fix my own credit because all they do is go in there and dispute. Man, I paid the lady $1,800. She disputed everything on my credit. She was disputing that I was currently using. She was disputing my credit cards that I currently were using. I went to the store to swipe my card and they was like, yeah, decline. I'm like, my credit card declined for it. I make a couple phone calls. She didn't dispute it. The credit company was like, yeah, you disputed it. The card that I'm using right now. I'm calling her. I finally get in touch with her. Oh, I got in a car accident. I almost died. I'm sorry.
Today, on the video, you stay to the end. I'm going to give you 5-6 steps that you can implement for those of you that aren't looking for a loophole or a shortcut. Those of you that got that scammer, that thief spirit, y'all can go ahead and swipe to the left, put some crazy comments in the comment section. Do what you do, but we're not talking to you. We're talking to those of you that have realized the error of your ways. You said, I did it, I admit it, and now I'm ready to quit it. That's who I'm speaking to today. I'm trying to give you some information that you can implement to help you get on the other side. Leg out. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert, and on this channel, we simplify the home loan process. A lot of folks have been scammed when it comes to credit repair. Watch out for these things. If you hear them, this should make you put up your spidey senses and make you want to run.
It's a red flag.
Also, if they tell you stop paying your bills, that's a red flag. You should, if you're coming somewhere to fix your credit and they tell you not to pay your
Why would you
bills,
stop paying your bills
exactly,
then?
that's a problem. If you hear words like sweep, because I've been hearing sweep like credit sweep.
Okay.
If you hear anybody say a word like credit sweep, run fast, right? Pretty much what a credit sweep is when they either use identity theft, they use the latest one is using with sex trafficking, or they use certain legal language that they send to the credit bureaus. And as a courtesy, what happens is the credit bureaus takes everything off your credit report. And then you end up rebuilding, thinking everything is all good. I got this fresh credit report. And then 6 months down the line, everything comes back. So it's a certain things. And it is a very sketchy.
If you go somewhere and they're telling you to not pay your bills, that's crazy work, man. How am I going to fix my credit and stop paying good payments on stuff that has been reporting in a positive light? Should never do that. You should run from anyone that makes that type of suggestion, because it is a major red flag. The sweeps, the only thing a broom is good for is sweeping up wherever you're living and picking up trash, right? These credit sweeps are garbage, hot garbage, okay? Another thing that I'm seeing a lot of recently with people with bad credit, freezing your accounts. Freezing those accounts are not going to prevent collectors, people that you owe, from putting that information on your credit report. It does not stop it. And sex trafficking, that where we at now, that's a serious claim, guys. So you have to understand mentally and technically the connectivity that is going on nowadays with your mobile device and the compute power. It tracks everything that you do. And most of you guys that have challenged credit, you can't stay offline telling folks how you're stealing, robbing, and committing fraud. But that aside, a lot of things that you guys subscribe to on these apps, so on and so forth, have access to the best data about you, and that's your spending habits, your bank accounts. If you don't believe me, do a little research. And so it's about righteousness, man, going forward. Should have always been, but lawbreakers are going to have a problem. And lawbreakers are always going to be fleeced because you're looking for a way not to do the right thing. I digress. Not paying your bills or stop paying your bills, credit sweeps, freezing your accounts, freezing the tertiary and secondary bureaus that collect data. All that is just wasting your time because you've never changed your character. That's the first C in the 3 C's of credit, right? Your character really matters. Your word ain't worth Nathaniel. So when you're ready to change that, then we can get you onto the road to repairing your name And your score will be reflective of the things that you do on a daily basis, because that's where it's all at. Now, let me ask you guys, what other things have you heard of or experienced if you were trying to repair your credit? A lot of us are ignorant, not knowing that we can't do these things. So I'm not trying to cast a negative light or disparage any of you or talk about you. But that's what this channel's for, right? To get rid of the ignorance so that when you know better, you can do better. But get down in the comment section. Tell me some of the other foolishness you've heard about as it pertains to repairing your credit and how people have been fleeced. Like the first young lady, $1,800. I guess the price is trending down, because the more connected we are, the more information gets out, the less the numbers of people getting fleeced become lower and lower. I remember in the early 2000s, people paying $5,000, $10,000 to dispute stuff. Let me show you the 5 or 6 things that you should be doing once you decided to change how you deal with credit and borrowing money, aka your name. There's 2 types of trade lines, accounts, that you should focus on. And you really only need 3, in my opinion. But installment accounts are accounts that have a fixed period for a fixed term. And once those payments have been made on time, all the time, successfully, at the end of the term, the account closes. Okay. But these types of accounts really do a good job in showing someone's behavior, right? Your character. Okay. I'm going to mention that several times because that's what it's about. It's about you. It's not about these companies. It's about you, right? Knowing before you owe. So these are typically student loans, okay, car loans, personal loans that are fairly larger in size. And so you get a good history. Now, what length of time should you focus on to establish, just to get a baseline of good credit? So we have 6 months, a year, 2 years. Once these accounts become 2 years of age or older, that's a 2+. Then we really have a good feed on, when I say we lenders, or you should have a good feed on who you really are when it comes to your finances, pardon me. And so this is why you've heard the term that's supposedly new, but trended data. They're going back, right, to see what you did to try to forecast what you'll do in the future. Number 2, revolving lines of credit. We like to call them credit cards, but there's different types of revolving lines of credit. But the key here, okay, you need one of these, and I would recommend no more than 2 here, okay? And the reason you want 2 credit cards is because once this installment loan goes bye-bye, these types of accounts, they stay open. They allow you to go up and down on the continuum of credit that you have. If you have $1,000 limit, you can go up and down on that limit. And when you pay the balance off, the account does not close. So now this is the blood flow. Okay. It's constantly flowing. This is why I equate this to high blood pressure. Okay. Or your blood pressure. We won't say it's high. We want to keep the blood pressure low, right? We want to keep your utilization low. And so this is the ebbs and flows that you see with the credit report. One thing that I've noticed with people with challenge credit, you are just obsessed with the credit score. And the score is a reflection of who you are financially, how you handle debt, how you keep your word. You need to focus more there, and then the score will be what it is. Once you start doing those things, you care less about the score because you'll always be able to get what you need. And so the credit cards, again, are going to allow your score, or you'll see your score go up and down a lot more when you're younger, because your utilization, the balances, your utilization of the credit limit might be higher because you're just at that time of life. But what's more important is your cash flow and the reserves. I'll say it this way. What is a good profile is someone with one installment loan, a student loan that's paid on time, all the time, every time, and two credit cards that do not carry a balance all the time. You're not a revolver, just put that here, but you're a transactor. Transactors are where you're trying to get to. And to become a transactor, this is indicative of people that manage their money well. Their utilization is low. So in practice, the way I've taught my children how to do this, because again, once we know better, we have to do better, right? You do it, you learn it, you do it, then you teach it. So I'm teaching my kids behind me, and this is the practice. Every week, we pay off the balance on the one credit card that we use as our daily driver. What's the daily driver for? Let me roll up here. Things like gas. We're going to get gas. Don't like to do the food and stuff like that, but you might have some type of a card that gives you a benefit. And so let's say fast food, right? But we need to get out of that habit. But fast food, or if you're out shopping, things that you buy, just call it shopping. But the rule is we don't put nothing on a card. I'm going to just use this name as an example. If we can't pay it off weekly. That is the how-to. So what that will allow you to do is be a transactor, because I'm only spending money that I know I have, and I'm using the credit card for convenience and safety. So once I have these two types of accounts, then I have a great foundation for a great credit score going forward, because I know how to manage my money. I'm only spending what I have, and I'm paying attention to it every week. This will kill a lot of these subscriptions and stuff that people are saying, I'll do it for you. I'll handle your business for you. You just pay me a little bit. You see, and you wonder why you're broke. It costs energy to be free. That's just an aside. So one other thing too, before I move forward on the installment loans, what you can do is this. Say you have a teenager and you're a responsible and adult. You've handled this business and you have a good character. I'm going to put that teenager, probably when they're going into maybe even junior high, depending on your child, you know who they are. Everybody's different. But as I'm teaching these principles, they don't know this, but the authorized user, that's what this is for, the family member. So I can start helping them establish credit. And I'm not going to give it to them, but this is just my gift to them based upon my good character, where I can help my next generation coming up, right? And this is anybody in your family. I'm just saying kids, but it could be niece, nephews, whoever, right? But family members. And so I'm going to give them access to a card that I utilize the right way, that I've had for a long period of time, and they can benefit because you can't hack time. So if I have 10 years of great history, great utilization, yeah, I'm going to bless my kids with that, right? So unbeknownst to them, they're already establishing time in the bureau, and there's ways to set those things up, okay? Now, when they become of age, say they start working and things of that nature, usually a car is something that most people aspire to. And we're not going to go out and do anything crazy, but I'll use myself as an example. Our kids, when it's time to buy a car, for the first 6 months to a year, we put them on the loan, the car loan, okay? Because we don't pay car payments. But if you do, 20% down, you have to pay it off in 3 years. That'll keep you safe. But you put them on the installment loan at your credit union or bank or whatever. So now they can start building that installment payment history, okay? And now we are setting them up for that foundation. And by the time they get ready to get out and go to college or what have you, they've got the 2-year plus. And within that time frame, if you start early enough, they should be able to get 2 credit cards in their own name, right? And just have that one authorized user that you started them off with. Great gift. They're off and running. Now, when it comes to the credit cards, 9%, okay? You utilize one card, your daily driver, 9%. If you're somewhere far away and you're worrying about convenience or safety and things of that nature, you might put more on the card at that time. But we never carry a balance past the statement date because we're not paying interest. Okay. We're just using it for convenience, maybe getting some points, so on and so forth. A lot of people mess up because their utilization, and what you hear a lot, is 30%. You'll always be broke. Always. I'm trying to help you build wealth, trying to help you get onto the housing ladder. The truth is 9% or less, and whatever you put on there, if you can't pay it off weekly, you can't afford it. This is where Klarna, let me put that there, Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay. This is where these entities come up. And I'm not going to demonize them because they notice an opportunity. You can't stop spending. Okay. And you'll keep pulling your future forward now for things that you're buying that don't equate to any wealth. They're not going to grow. You're going to consume them. They're going to be gone. You're going to forget about it. 30, 40 years are going to pass. And then you're going to be hollering the government needs to take care of me. Okay. It's their fault. No, it's your fault in a lot of cases. It's my fault. Right. And so the utilization has to be at 9% or less. And that keeps your score high because now the bureau is saying, you know what? Or the credit agencies or whoever's calculating the score, they're saying, you know what? This is a transactor. Those of you that are out there that agree with me and understand this, how often are you getting offers to borrow money that you didn't ask for? I don't want to borrow your money, right? I want to borrow money when it makes sense. If I'm leveraging a home, if I need a vehicle, not want one, and then I'm buying it with the rules that we have in place. But other than that, I don't want your money. You see what I'm saying? Because the flow of money, the tool of money, the reason they want to lend it is because they're going to get a return. I'm not going to demonize that. I don't have to take the money. I have to understand. But my point is, once you change your mindset and you have the right character, now you're only looking to put capital to work that's going to work for you, if that makes sense. So 9% utilization on the credit cards or less. And I recommend only using one. You find the card that has the highest points or rewards that you like, the cash back or whatever that is for you. Lowest interest rate, but we're not worried about interest rates because we're going to find out what our due date, and we're going to let the reporting date work where it shows that, hey, I have a balance, 9% or less. It's going to be reported to the 3 major agencies, but I'm paying that sucker off weekly and I'm good. So you don't really have to play that game if you get into the habit of paying off weekly, because if you do, something's going to be reported and it's always going to be less than 9% and you're going to have the highest score possible after a period of 10 years. Okay. Because it's going to take time. Then here's the next thing. This is something that's less tactical and everybody overlooks it. But again, you got to pay the balance every week. That is a habit that you get into. A lot of us have gotten into the habit of making the minimum payment. Who do you think wins there? Now, here's another thing that I want you to get comfortable with. And this is the safety aspect. You always want to push payments. If you notice, everything today is to get into your bank account, to understand who you are. So you got to understand who you are. The safest thing to do is this. You push the payments. You set up the bill pay. You pay attention to what's going on. And this is what a lot of people don't want to do because it takes time, it's work. But this is what's going to keep you safe from a lot of data breaches and things of that nature. Not that it can't happen to you, but you're paying attention. When something's off, you know what time it is, right? You're minding your business. So you set up the bill pays and stuff like that. And you know what? If you don't want to have a lot of bill pays, stay out the stuff. Quit buying all this stuff, right? Your money going to come up. And you're able to buy things that help you not have to work as hard in the future. It is what it is. So you push payments. And if you ever have a pool situation, meaning someone's going into your bank account, nobody ever gets to go into my bank account, right? Never. I'm the only one. I still write checks. Some of y'all need to learn how to write a check, right? Because it will slow you down. It's just like fast food. That's why they put them in places where it's convenient. Impulse buying, right? Well, if you got to take the checkbook out and write a check and, oh, I'm tired of paying these bills, well, stay out the store, right? These are all things that will help prevent you from wrecking yourself because there's a hard stop. It's not instantaneously. So bill pay, love bill pay. You always push payments, keep people out of your checking account. If you are going to let somebody pull a payment from you, you use your credit card, right? So there you have it. I ain't going to keep y'all on here forever. It don't take all day. It's real simple for those of you that want to implement it. Now, for the rest of y'all, they got all these tricks and stuff. Y'all, one day you're going to quit stealing, right? The law, righteous riches is where we're going to. And for those of you that have a problem, you're going to have a problem. So today, if you hear what bruh's saying, like the scripture said, today, if you hear the word of the Lord, harden not your heart, aka stop, repent, and change the errors of your ways. And you'll always have the best credit scores. You'll always be able to afford the things that you're looking to buy. And if one of those things is a home, I would love to talk to you. Why? I'm a lender. Been doing this 20 plus years. My NMLS, National Mortgage Licensing Systems number is 180100. Y'all stop listening to these people online who ain't never did this and don't own a home and never owned any property. Get with someone that you know, like, and trust, right? The next step would be scheduling a consultation. First 15 minutes is free. It's on me. You and I determine if there's a fit. If you're not ready, continue watching videos like these two that I've pulled and curated for you to help you build your confidence and your knowledge so that you can know before you owe. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, guys, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. And you guys stay blessed. Indeed.